uh, uh, there are two areas where it's going to have profound impact, which is go back to our the two largest industries in the world, and one is in the financial services domain, and the other is in the healthcare, right? So there's going to be, mind you, Zubin, you just say a child born now is going to have I say average age of 90 to 100. A child born
Yeah.
two decades back, the average age was around 70 to 80, 80 plus. So that keeps increasing, right? And so there's going to be huge change on the way drugs are discovered. Going to be huge change on the healthcare and the life science space, personal drug, personal discovery of some of these medicine, and everything around healthcare, right? The way care is given to a patient, whichever part of the world, is going to have a huge impact in using these technologies. That's one. Second, on the financial services side, right? So it's very important to understand AI and Gen AI and related technology is going to have profound impact on financial services aspect of it. So it's very important for even for the current generation to understand that, hey, you don't just understand technology for the sake of it, right? See how financial services segment is served for in an industry like in US, in Europe, in large parts of Asia, within Singapore. What are the variances in that? How do you do fraud detection in Singapore on an insurance stuff which you're going to sign up, and how do you do it in US, or how do you do it in India? So understand the industry nuances on these industries, thereby using technology, how are you going to benefit, and then park yourself into that area, whether you maybe want to be a data scientist, you want to be a machine learning engineer, you want to be a UI specialist, or the likes of it. So it's very important to understand and connect the larger dots within the industry. But to answer your question, these two are the most important part of the industry. And the third element is many of the government services is going to go through citizen services across the world is going to go through a phenomenal change. We have seen that in India. We have seen that in India in a small way. The way we pay, whether
it's very big in Singapore.
Yeah, the way the payment systems, or the way we serve pay, with day-to-day interactions with the government is going to change. The way the courts are law is, imagine digitizing the entire the court proceedings, and then where you naturally it falls under an AI domain, right? So whenever a judge gives a judgment, he goes back to what is the High Court judgment on 50s and 60s. So it's a natural use case for AI. Just imagine the power of AI in completely changing and reading all the judgments which has happened, and then become a law assistant for a judge, or a judge assistant, or somebody is doing. So that's going to change the way justice will be done, the way citizen services will be served, the way healthcare is delivered, and way sustainability itself is going to be a huge job, because all these puts pressure back on the sustainability and environment, because many of these systems generate a large amount of environmental related issues. So these are some of these areas, but advice to the individual is understand the industry first, technology second, right? Rather than understanding, in our age, we understood technology first and industry second. I would rather tell them to flip the model to understand the industry. When I say industry, you have to be global in nature. It's just not India, just not Singapore. It is understand how different countries operate. So it's very important to get a global perspective of that industry, and then apply and then juxtapose technology on top of it, and then start learning, and so on and so forth, right? You can be a coder, or you can be a product marketing person, or you can be a GTM person for a particular product in a particular market. But it is always important to have the technology.
You can be a recruiter even.
Absolutely, you can be a recruiter as well.